Did McFarlane just make the best Ninja Turtle action figures? I think they did. But who am I? It's not like I know anything about Ninja Turtle action figures, so just go ahead and ignore my opinion. Now, listen, I hate McFarlane as much as Spider-Criminal, okay? That's a lie. He probably hates him more than me. But I still dislike them a fair amount. So when they announced this line, I was not happy. Now, he doesn't really have that much quality control issues. I will show the ones I'll just show it now, actually, so I don't forget. This head sculpt, if it'll focus, has this weird, I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, kind of orange goop.
Absolutely disgusting, by the way. I almost puked, but let me stay focused.
Other than that, I really haven't had a single QC issue. Now, when it comes to the price, $28, that's almost $30. So for the accessories we get, I wish that we got more, but we did get this comic, so I'm guessing the comic is why it was as expensive as it is, because you get like a little mini comic, which personally, I would rather trade in the comic for some more accessories. For posability, I think it avoids the McFarlane problem, which is typically shit articulation. Despite being single jointed, I kind of find a pose that this guy can't hit difficult. I think for looks, it's a very stylized comic booky look, which I personally like. I know that not everybody is a fan of the classic Mirage look. At times, I'm not. So even looking at the two of these, I do think design-wise, because of his comic bookiness, he looks great. I really enjoy how it looks personally. I also really enjoy this one. So I really think it's just kind of based on what you like off looks. But I think the most important thing when it comes to Ninja Turtle action figures is price.
No! Everyone! Ah!
And let's face it, the average Joe Schmo can't drop $500 on the Mezco set. So what does that really leave you? I know that there's like a whole new brand out there. I'm showing promo pics to you guys. I'm saying that so I remember to edit it in. But those are also like $100 each, and I don't know if I don't like how they look personally. They look just a little too muscular for me. They remind me of the newly released NECA Mirage Turtles, which, well, I say newly, but that was like 2 or 3 years back. So I really think if you're looking for a fairly priced Ninja Turtle action figure set, these are your bet. They look great. They don't fall apart like Best Action, which, if you don't know what I'm referring to, this came out of the box like that. It just straight snapped, and this is me barely moving the arm up. I'm not being rough with it. I'm just pulling up. The feet barely move, like, at all. These figures are straight ass. Or the ones they released before them, which, to be fair, this was released, I want to say, a long time ago. But that's still bad for an action figure, regardless. I believe this is one of their first attempts, so I can excuse it. But that's still bad nonetheless. So I really think if you're looking for a cheap action figure that'll look really good on a shelf, this is your bet. Granted, I don't have Leo to compare him with, and I do think for accessories he doesn't come with a lot, which I have a tutorial to fix. If you stick till the end, I'll show you. But I still think that this figure more than makes up for that in personality. Really, I mean, like, the main issues that I have with McFarlane are posability, size, and accessories. And he comes with a decent amount of accessories. Posability, I find it hard to find a pose that this guy can't hit. I know I've said that like a few times, but it's really true. I mean, any iconic Ninja Turtle pose that I would want Donatello to be able to hit, he can hit. Now, I do have flaws with this figure, which I'm going to touch on now. These are his accessories. Now, this is what I'm assuming is a blowtorch, and this is a wrench. I'm not going to cover them more than that, because I don't know. Do you want me to, like, give you, here's, like, the little looky look of it. It's just silver. I mainly want to focus on things like the fact that there's only 2 heads. One that is smiling. One that is smirking, if I can. Like, that's really dumb. I don't get why they would give you 2 of those. You get 2 fisted hands. One oh no, they're both here. So you get these 2 fisted hands, and then you get 1 gripping hand that can hold the bow staff, which for a McFarlane bow staff, really solid. I mean, it's still bendy, but it came completely straight. And then an open hand. Only one open hand and one gripping hand. For the price you're paying, that's stupid. Now, another thing I dislike are the way they did the feet. I like the joints because you can get a lot of posability with them, but they fall off too easily, and I don't like that the toe joints are built in. I think that's really stupid personally, and I would have rather just had standard toe joints. Now, I know I just confused some people there because they were like, we're just glazing the ever shit out of this figure. You were saying it's great. I do think it is great. I think articulation-wise it's great, and I think that sculpt is amazing. I just think that the accessories are immensely lacking, and I don't like the feet. I wish that the feet were normal. The main tip I can give for that is if they fall out too much, just put some sticky tack in there, like a little tiny dollop of it, and then smush it onto the, like, in there, and it'll be fine. It should hold better. But, yeah. I guess it's time to review articulation, right? Now, the head can look up this far, which on this side is this, and this far down, which, reminder, this is it looking up, this is it looking down. So it's not much down, but for the up, I think that's the best I've ever actually seen on a cheap Ninja Turtle figure. Now, for arms, his arms can do a full 360. There is no swivel here, but there is a swivel down in this area, which works just fine. It is a single jointed arm, which can get about that far, and the ball jointed hand can go that far down, that far up, that far to the side, and that far to the side. Same thing with the other hand, so I'm not going to review both. For the feet, his feet can go that far down, and that's what I'm talking about with QC issues. Now, maybe that's just a simple, like, because they pop off a little easy. I don't know, but I don't like it. Feet can kick that far up. Not insane, but, like, you really have to work it, because in trying to make sure they don't pop out is, like, the way to describe it. For knees, they can bend down that much. There is no actual swivel down in the leg, but there is one down here near the single joint, which can do a full 360, except that kind of blocks it, so you do have to bend it back down. I'm gonna pop that off to keep turning it, but it can do a 360. That just does get in the way. Now, I think this figure does have problems, but what figure doesn't? I really think that at the end of the day, this action figure is still the best Ninja Turtle figure on the market for an affordable price that the average person can pick up at a GameStop. I think we've had a lot of different action figures of the Turtles over the years, not many of them being even semi-good. And so the fact that Todd McFarlane, of all people, was the one to create this action figure that I can't seem to put down for the past couple days is insane to me. Now, earlier I mentioned making some mods to the figure, which I will go over now. Number one, if you have the best action Ninja Turtle, specifically the IDW one, you will have its heads. Now, these heads look, I dropped it, pretty similar to these ones to me, ever so slightly off with color, if it'll focus. Well, you can still see what I'm talking about. They're still very similar face-shaped. So what I did was I drilled in a hole like there is in here for the head to be held, which can pop in. Hold on, let me pop it in all the way. Now, I mainly did this because I wanted an angry head, which this is fully being held in, by the way, by the pressure of the joint, and there is no sticky tack in there. I also drilled in the back here, if it'll focus, so that I could fit in the McFarlane headbands. Not that complicated to do, if I'm honest. Really simple. Now, the purples don't match up perfectly, as you can see. The skin tone definitely is not too noticeable, in my opinion, unless you directly compare it to here, which you can definitely see. Like, when it's just on the body, I feel like it's not noticeable until you compare it to the head. But yeah, the final customization I did was I got these open hands from the Best Action Donnie, snipped them out, hollowed them out, and made it so they could fit on here. And they're fully posable, fully movable and such. They're still a work in progress, as you can see, but it was mainly for purposes like stop motion, because I want to be able to animate with this guy, and have him be able to use, like, multiple hands and such, you know? Now, with the IDW Best Action Series, you also get this glove punch effect, which just stick a tiny bit of sticky tack in there, and really any hand can hold it. Do keep a fist in there when you put it on. I'm just not putting it on at the moment for the pose. Hold on. It can hold it perfectly fine. It just needs a tiny bit of sticky tack in there. You don't want it overflowing with sticky tack, but you also want enough where it can be held on, you know? And then it also comes with these goggles, which if you sand down the bottom, you can get to fit on the normal head for the McFarlane figure. But at the same time, if you just want it for the original head, then that works too, because they were specifically designed for this one. So, like, the McFarlane heads are a little bigger, obviously, but it's still fun. I just think those are, like, some little mods you can make to make the figure, like, overall funner. But I don't think they're needed or even necessary for the figure, in my personal opinion. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little figure review.